Johnny Griggs had a talent for getting under people's skin. He didn't try very hard at it either. It was in the way he leaned just a little too casually against someone else's truck, like it belonged to him. The way he answered questions with just enough sarcasm to make you wonder if he was joking or not. The way he showed up right on time, but never a second early. Nobody called him Johnny. "Griggs," the dispatcher would call across the yard. "You're late." "I'm not late," he'd reply, checking his watch like it might defend him. "I'm just not early." And somehow, despite all of it, he was one of the best drivers they had. The delivery yard woke up before the sun did. Engines coughed to life, metal doors slammed, coffee steamed in paper cups that burned your fingers if you held them too long. It was loud, chaotic, predictable in its own way. Griggs liked it like that. No expectations yet, no mistakes made, just the promise of motion. He was leaning against his truck, sipping bad coffee, when he heard the voice. "Which one of you is Griggs?" When he finally looked over, he saw her. Jonna stood with a clipboard tucked under her arm, scanning the yard like she already knew how everything worked. No wasted movement, no hesitation. "That depends," he said. "Who's asking?" Her eyes landed on him. "You're him." It wasn't a question. "I'm Jonna," she said. "I'm your new troubleshooter." He raised an eyebrow. "Troubleshooter, huh? That means you fix problems or you make them official?" "It means I learn every route, every driver, and every issue this place has, and fix what needs fixing." Griggs took a slow sip of coffee. Good luck with that. She rode along on his route the next morning, which told him everything he needed to know. Most troubleshooters started easy. Not Jonna. She went straight for the one everyone warned her about. "You always drive like this?" she asked as he took a corner a little sharper than necessary. "Like what?" "Like you're trying to prove something." He shrugged. "Maybe I am." She made a note on her clipboard. Griggs glanced over. "You writing reckless or charming?" "Neither," she said. "Observant." "Of what?" She looked at him. "You don't actually miss deliveries." He smirked. "Low bar." "But you cut it close," she added. "Every time." He didn't answer because she wasn't wrong. They spent the whole day together. Routes, stops, patterns. She asked better questions than anyone else ever had. Why this street first? Why skip that block and come back later? Why take the long way around? Griggs found himself answering not because he had to, but because he wanted to. By the end of the day, something had shifted. Not big, not obvious, but enough. "You fish?" he asked as they finished their last delivery. She glanced at him. "Fish?" "Fly fishing," he said. "You?" She hesitated. "I used to. There's a river about an hour out. Quiet. Not many people." She studied him. "You inviting me?" He shrugged. "Just saying it exists." She showed up that Saturday. The river ran cold and clear, slipping over rocks like it had somewhere better to be. Griggs stood midstream, casting with easy rhythm. "You're standing too far forward," she said. He didn't turn. "And you're late." She stepped into the water. "Water's higher than it looks." "Yeah," he said. "It usually is." They fished in silence at first. Not awkward, just quiet. "You always this talkative?" she asked. "Only when I've got something worth saying." She gave the faintest smile. "I guess I'll wait." It became their routine. Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. The river became their place. They talked more, slowly, piece by piece. Griggs learned she'd moved around most of her life. Different towns, no roots. Jonna learned he'd never left, but never really felt like he belonged. "You ever think about leaving?" she asked one afternoon. "All the time." "Why don't you?" He watched the current. Never had a reason to go. She didn't answer, but something changed between them. The first kiss wasn't planned, just a quiet evening, the sun dipping low, a moment that lingered a second too long, so he didn't let it pass. She kissed him back like she'd already decided. After that, everything moved forward. Not rushed, but certain. "Marry me," he said one afternoon by the river. "That's your proposal?" she asked. "I could make a speech." "You won't." "No." She smiled. "Good." She looked at him. "Yes." The wedding was small, simple, real. Life settled, mornings together, evenings together, weekends at the river. Then one night she said something that didn't seem important at the time. "Let's take a DNA test." "Why?" "Why not? Might be interesting." He shrugged. "All right." They forgot about it until the email came. "You should come here," she said. Something in her voice made him stop. He read it once, then again. Close genetic match. Immediate family. That's wrong, he said. It has to be. They tested again. Different company. Same result. The truth didn't come from records. It came from conversations neither of them ever thought to have. Jonna called her father. He hesitated before answering, then finally told her what he'd always avoided. Her mother had struggled with addiction. After Jonna was born, she disappeared. He never saw her again. Griggs had his own conversation. His mother didn't hesitate, but she didn't soften it either. She told him there'd been a party, she'd been intoxicated, she didn't remember that night at all. 9 months later, Griggs was born. No names, no certainty, just unanswered questions. They sat with that, and then they went back to the river, the same place where everything had begun. But this time it felt different. We didn't know, she said. I know. It wasn't wrong when it started. No, but it's not the same now. Griggs picked up a small stone and rolled it between his fingers. You ever wish we never took that test? Yes. He nodded. Me too. He stared at the water for a long moment, then shook his head. But screw it. She looked at him. Griggs, no, just hear me out. If we hadn't submitted that test, we'd just be a happy couple. No questions, no second guessing. That test didn't change what we did. It didn't change how we met. It didn't change what we felt. It changed what we know, she said. It gave us information, he replied. That's all. That's not all. He held her gaze. None of these tests are 100% accurate. You know that. She didn't respond. Are you really willing to give away your future for something that isn't 100% guaranteed? A beat. I'm not. Silence settled between them. I love you, he said. I loved you before that test. I love you now. That didn't change. They're saying we're siblings. They're saying something we never knew our whole lives, he said. Something that didn't matter until someone told us it should. It matters. So do we. That stopped her. I don't know if I can forget it, she said. I'm not good at walking away, he replied, especially not from you. She looked at him, torn between everything she knew and everything she felt. What are you asking me? That we decide what this means, he said. Not a test, not a report, us. And if we're wrong, he didn't hesitate. Then we live with it. She closed her eyes, took a breath, opened them again. I love you too. They sat closer now, not resolved, not certain, but not apart. The river kept moving. And somewhere between what they knew and what they felt, they stayed. Not because it was simple, not because it was safe, but because neither of them was willing to let go of something that had never felt like a mistake. And every once in a while, Jonna wondered if the test had been wrong, or if the truth was simply something neither of them was willing to face.